is brought to you by Action for Healthy Kids. My name is Sarah Pronto, and I am the volunteer manager here at Action for Healthy Kids in the national office. And today I will be presenting an overview of the Get in the Action Volunteer Center, which is a new and very dynamic technology just used to simplify and enhance volunteer management and recruitment, the whole process. Also on the line with me today is Caroline Rapido Blanco. Caroline is the Regional Field Manager for the South and Southwest at Action for Healthy Kids and will be helping to answer any questions that you may have as well. In the Action for Healthy Kids network, there are over 80,000 volunteers and champions working to make schools healthier and more active. You may already have a committed group of volunteers you work with, or you might be looking at how you can maybe integrate more volunteers, or maybe you're not even aware of just how many people in your community are willing to lend a helping hand, but just haven't been asked. So volunteers have an enormous impact on the health and well-being of all communities and organizations, and the Get in the Action Volunteer Center can give your volunteer program just a kickstart, or can help you maximize your efforts with the volunteers that you already use. So I just want to review a couple of logistics before we get started. Once you're linked in, you'll see a control panel, usually on the right side of your screen. You can use your telephone or speakers to listen to the presentation, but everyone's going to be muted to avoid static and background interference. There's a dialog box at the bottom of your control panel. You can type questions into the dialog box as we're going along, and we'll try to get them answered later in the presentation or via email following the webinar. Well, this webinar is being recorded, and links to the recording and the handouts will be sent to you 2 to 3 business days after the webinar. So first, I'd like to give you a little background on Action for Healthy Kids. Founded in 2002 by former Surgeon General David Satcher, Action for Healthy Kids is a national nonprofit that fights childhood obesity, undernourishment, and physical inactivity by helping schools become healthier places. We are moms, dads, teachers, students, school and community leaders, and school wellness experts who have banded together to create healthier learning environments for our children. We believe that everyone has a part to play in ending the nation's childhood obesity epidemic. Our programs, tools, and resources make that possible. We also partner with dozens of professional associations, government agencies, and corporations at the national and local level. So let's get started with our topic today of using the Get in the Action Volunteer Center. There are a few agenda items today which I'd like to cover, which is what is the Get in the Action Volunteer Center, and just an overview of the entire system. Then how do I sign up as a partner and manage my profile? The third is how can I post an opportunity for volunteers? And finally, how do volunteers sign up? So let's start with what is the Get in the Action Volunteer Center. Just want to give a brief overview of what the technology is and how it can be useful. So as part of the Hands-On Connect volunteer management technology, the Get in the Action Volunteer Center is a full life cycle volunteer management platform that expands our capability to manage, track, and report on people, programs, trainings, and volunteer opportunities in real time. Action for Healthy Kids' use of the Get in the Action Volunteer Center gives people an opportunity to get involved in their own communities, creating the kinds of healthy changes in schools that make it possible for kids to be physically active and eat nutritious food every day. From the cafeteria to the playground, volunteers are rolling up their sleeves. They're pulling out their paintbrushes, their tools, their expertise, their knowledge base, and their commitment to improve school facilities, programs, and activities so kids have healthier school environments. Action for Healthy Kids partners with schools and other community-based organizations across the country to host events that focus on improving nutritional and physical environments. So by registering to the Get in the Action Volunteer Center as a partner organization, you're able to post your volunteer needs online You can promote your volunteer opportunities to different audiences. You can recruit volunteers. You can designate a volunteer coordinator or several volunteer coordinators, and just highlight your school or organization's event. It allows for the tracking and coordinating of the volunteers before and after the event, too. So essentially, it's your one-stop shop for streamlining your entire volunteer management process in just a few simple steps. So let's dig a little deeper into the initial step of signing up as a partner organization. Being a partner allows you to have full access to all the useful tools of the technology. So that's really where this whole process is going to get started. So as you can see on my screen, this is the home page of the Get in the Action Volunteer Center. You can access this website by going to volunteer.actionforhealthykids.org. And like I said, here's a view of the home page. Just as a reminder, the recordings and slides will be emailed out, so don't worry about copying down that web address right now if you don't have it. I'll highlight some of the other page tabs that you can see on the screen a little bit later in the webinar. But again, right now, I will just start with the partner registration piece, which is really the first starting point. So if you're a part of a school or a nonprofit organization, you can sign up as a partner. So let's say you just want to make it easier for parents and community members to volunteer at your school or organization. Or maybe you're looking to recruit new volunteers for a project or recurring opportunity. Or you're just simply looking for a way to streamline and effectively communicate and manage your volunteers. Registering as a partner organization lets you manage all those needs under a single customizable profile that you can adjust to yourself accordingly. So the first step is really just to access the Get in the Action Volunteer Center homepage that you see here. You'll see two main headings on the page. One is volunteer opportunities, and the other is partner organizations. So those two main headings right there. So first, to access, you're going to click that partner organizations tab right here, and it's circled on my screen right now. So you'll click that tab, and this will open the partner page. Okay, again, we'll review some of the other items on this page in a few minutes, but to first complete your partner registration, the first thing you're going to do is go to the sign up and registration on the left-hand side of the navigation menu. So right there where the arrow is pointing, it's going to go to sign up and registration. If you read this paragraph that's on the page now, there are also some links in there where you can register. It's all going to take you to the same page, but the easiest navigation is just to go to sign up registration. Okay, one note about the site, you can see up in the top right corner of the page, there's a green login button. Okay, and while very tempting to click there initially, you'll want to only use that login button after you've completed your registration and your organization has been confirmed as a partner. So again, I just want to repeat that information. The login button will be used after your partner registration has been confirmed. You'll want to navigate through the site by the main tabs just to assure that you're in the right spot on the site. This is really vital just because there are essentially two systems operating on the site at the same time, the volunteer side of things and the partner side of things. So all the registration pages are labeled, so just make sure when you're submitting your different registrations that it's labeled in the correct area. So if you're registering to be a partner, just make sure that you're in the partner organization registration area. Okay, so after we click the sign up and registration button, we're going to be taken to a new page. This page will open up that you can see on my screen now, and it's going to be titled GITA, which is Get in the Action Center Partner Registration. And your screen will look like what you see on my screen now. So on this page, you will simply enter all the information requested. Note that all this information does relate directly to your school or organization. So for example, the mission statement is the mission statement of the school or organization, not your mission statement as it relates to your volunteer needs. The information requested is pretty straightforward, as you can see here. It's just the organization name, which would be, your school name or your nonprofit organization, the mission statement, which I briefly talked about, the primary populations or populations served. You can see families, low-income communities, people with disabilities, people with health-based concerns, or other. You can select those. It's a multi-select field. And then the primary impact area or areas, arts and culture, children and youth education, and so on. So again, the information is very straightforward. As you scroll down the page, you will find some additional just basic information like street address, city, state, zip code, and phone number. So again, very, very easy and simple information. So the next section to fill out is the primary contact information, which will be your contact information as the person who's registering to be a partner. So again, it's just first name, last name, your title, email address, and your affiliation as to why you're interested in the Get in the Action Volunteer Center. And that's just a simple drop-down select menu. So as you can see, these sign-up fields are very brief, and the actual time it takes to register as a partner will really only take you a couple minutes at most. So the final section you'll see here is the waiver of liability section. The questions here are basically just a confirmation that you have read and are aware of the acknowledgement and release and waiver of liability documents that you have the authority to sign up as a partner organization on behalf of your own organization. So there's only one choice here. The choices are yes and yes. You'll click both of those before you can register as a partner. There isn't a no option just because we need everyone to agree to those prior to moving on. So just a couple of notes about the waiver and liability section. The document is linked right there on the registration page for you to review. It's not very long, but does have some important information relating to the volunteer site. So just generally speaking, the waiver is stating that Action for Healthy Kids is just a technology vehicle for volunteers and partner organizations, and that it's up to the school or organization to follow their own requirements and procedures when it comes to individuals volunteering with their organization. You can think of it similar to maybe a dating website. So the Get in the Action Center is simply the database that holds all the information, but it's up to the partners and volunteers to make the match between each other and follow their own guidelines and requirements that are unique to each organization. So something, an idea could be a fingerprinting process. You know, Action for Healthy Kids and the Get in the Action Center doesn't take that next step to fingerprint volunteers that might be going to the school. Again, that's between the volunteer and the school or organization to do. Again, this system is just the database that's holding the information for the volunteers and the partners to make that connection between the two. So after you enter all this information, you're just going to click Submit, and it really is just that easy to sign up as a partner. So after submitting your registration, a few things will be sent to the email address that you listed on the registration page. The first is going to be an email confirmation just stating that you submitted the partner request. All partners do need to be approved before gaining full access to the technology. We do this just to assure that all organizations are legitimate and appropriate and that the waiver of liability has been checked off. The approval process for this can take up to 2 business days just because it is a manual process that needs to be reviewed. Second, you'll also be notified via email once your school or organization is a confirmed partner. So once this is received, your partner registration is complete. The emails that you will see will look similar to what's on my screen. You'll know that it's from the Get in the Action Center, and that it will be descriptive as to what it relates to. So on the second email that you received that's confirming that you've become a partner, you'll receive a temporary password to log in, and your username would be the email address that you entered on your registration. So you'd now be able to log into your profile and create and manage all your volunteer opportunities and begin recruiting volunteers. So just as a quick reminder, as with many email filters and firewalls, just be sure to check your spam or junk folders if you haven't received any email communications after submitting your request to become a partner, and it might be hiding in there. So just something to note if you're not seeing something come through your email. So that's just a quick overview of how to sign up as a partner. Again, very straightforward and pretty simple process. I do want to pause quickly to see if there are any questions from the group about signing up as a partner.
Hi, Sarah. This is Caroline. We don't have any questions that have come through, so just as a reminder for those of you on the call, please enter your questions in the question box, and we'll take them throughout the call. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Caroline. All right, we will keep moving. All right, so now you're a confirmed partner organization, and you can log in to manage your profile, post volunteer opportunities, and recruit volunteers. So let's take a look at where that can be found. So first, you're going to access the main volunteer site again at the home page, and you'll again see that green login button in the top right corner of the page. So now is the time that, since you're an approved partner, that you can click on that box or click on that link, and a box is going to appear. And then it's going to be asking for your username and password. So if you remember, I just mentioned that your username would be your email address that you signed up with. And the first time you're logging in, you'll use that generic password that you received. And as soon as you enter that in to log in, you'll be asked to change your password after your first initial login, and then you can create your own password custom to you. So once logged in, you'll notice you have a new tab called Volunteer Management, which is circled there on my screen. This is where you'll access all of your profile information, and that includes your account, your Manage Opportunities section, your Manage Volunteers area, and then a Resources tab. So just a little information about these tabs under this new Volunteer Management area. The Account tab is where you can access general information like your name, your email, your address, basically all the information that you use to register. You can also add someone to your account, a new contact, in the Account area. You can customize your profile as much as you'd like. There are options for pictures. It's really a feature that you can customize yourself as much as or as little as you'd like. So then the Manage Opportunities tab is where you'll post opportunities, and you can view pending or past opportunities. The Manage Volunteers tab is where you will see volunteers who have shown interest, signed up, or participated in an opportunity. And then the final, the Resources tab, just has some great ideas for volunteer opportunities, including different templates and recruitment flyers, as well as a few quick how-to guides. Definitely check out the Resources tab regularly, as we're going to be updating this section with some new resources and some new tools that can be used. It's a great spot if you're just starting out and maybe you're not sure of how to get started, or you want to do a certain activity but you're just not sure yet where it fits into your needs. The Resources area has a lot of helpful information that might be useful in just getting started. So now you have your account set up, we've logged in, and you're ready to post your first volunteer opportunity. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you're in that Volunteer Management tab that's highlighted as Step 1. Okay, if you don't have that tab on your screen, you're probably not logged in. So again, you'll just go to that Login button and click Login, and it will tell you that you're logged in or not. So for Step 2, you're going to click on Manage Opportunities just below the main heading. And for Step 3, you will see on the left side navigation menu there's a Create Opportunity link, and you'll just simply click there. So after clicking that link, you'll now be at the Create a Volunteer Opportunity page. Entering an opportunity is just a relatively short step-by-step process where you will answer just simple questions, what, when, where, and who type questions. The instructions we're going to go over today are just to be used as a guide and are generally speaking, so not every opportunity will fit exactly how I will walk through the steps today. So just be sure to answer the questions based on your specific needs. But again, this is just generally what we find. You'll notice that some of the fields are starred. These are the required fields that you'll need to answer before moving on to the next step. The optional fields can be answered as well, but definitely not necessary. Those optional fields are basically just adding more keywords associated with your opportunity when a volunteer uses the search function to look for opportunities. So again, not necessary. It's just the starred required information that is necessary to move on. So step one, as you see here, is the what area. So you'll first enter the name of the opportunity. And for example, this might be the 3rd annual Family Fitness Night. So you would just type that in the name of the opportunity box. So next you're going to select the primary impact area that best represents your impacted population. So again, it's just a simple drop-down field, and you'll select the most appropriate selection. And again, the secondary impact is an optional field there. So as we're moving on, you'll then have a free text field where you can enter a description of the opportunity. And then last, you will enter the kind of opportunity, which will most likely be project. The choices here that you'll be given are project or activity. And a project is anything that you're recruiting volunteers for and should almost always be used when creating these volunteer opportunities. So I want to go back and mention a few things about the description section. So the description is important because this is really where you're going to be detailing the event or need that you have for volunteers. So when entering the description, think of what would influence someone to sign up as a volunteer. So rather than just typing in something simple and easy like, we are looking for volunteers, and that's the end of it, you could say something like, our school is hosting the 3rd annual Family Fitness Night, and we need your help to make it a success. We're looking for volunteers to help with setup, welcoming students and families, and helping at activity stations. Any amount of time you can give is appreciated. There will also be some healthy drinks and snacks for all volunteers. So as you can see, it's just a little bit of an expanded description as opposed to just, we need volunteers. So again, it's just best practice to include a description that's a bit more detailed, and it may likely entice more people to volunteer. Click on the link. Also remember that volunteers aren't getting paid, so anytime you can offer up even the smallest little perk for their time, it's always appreciated. Snacks, t-shirts, it's always welcome. So the more you take care of your volunteers and make the experience as enjoyable as possible, the more likely they will turn into returning volunteers for your organization. So just another note about this description box is that it's a what you see is what you get editor, or a WYSIWYG. Some of you might have heard of that acronym, WYSIWYG, is what you see is what you get. So how you enter the information is how it's going to appear on the site. You can type directly into the text box, or if you're copying and pasting your description from, say, a Word document, just make sure that the toolbar is used accordingly. So there's a copy from Word icon that you can select, and that's just going to remove any hidden formatting that might be in the background of your Word document that you can't see on this screen. So there's also several other icons. There's an icon to add a hyperlink, and many other options to edit the format of your description. And again, this is just some enhancements that you can do if you'd like. There's really not a right or wrong way to enter your description, so just do what's best for you, and don't be afraid to play around with some of the features if you want. You can add symbols or pictures. Again, you can hyperlink, you can bold, italicize things. It's basically very similar to your toolbar in a Word document. Okay, so after entering all of the what information, you'll click the green arrow button to move on to the next section. And those can be found, it'll say step 2 of 6, step 3 of 6, and you'll just navigate between the pages with those green arrow buttons. So step 2 is where you're going to enter the when information. Okay, so as you select your answers in this section, other fields are going to be opened based on your answers. So initially, your page probably won't look like this. I've just opened several other options so we can talk through it. So let's walk through these different sections. The first question asks if this is an ongoing opportunity. Again, typically speaking, most opportunities will probably not be ongoing. Mostly will likely be happening on one date and time that's specific to that opportunity. But if you are looking for a long-term volunteer, say to help with recess or an after-school activity, for the entire semester or maybe even the entire year, then you might select yes for ongoing opportunity. So the next question asks if the opportunity is happening on a regular schedule. Again, unless you're looking for volunteers to come in, say, every week on Wednesday morning at the same time every single week, you'll probably select no for regular schedule. So you'll select the appropriate date and start and end times. One thing to note here in this section is that the time field is format specific. So I recommend you simply type over the format that is populated for you when you click in your date. So the start time and end time is just going to automatically pop up to the current time of when you're entering this information. So just rather than going in and deleting that entire field and starting from scratch, just type over the format that they have in there. That's just going to avoid any formatting errors that you might get. So again, that box is format specific. Okay, so then the next step you're going to do is after you enter the date and the time, you're going to click the green Add Date button. Okay, that's very vital for you to do. It's not going to allow you to move on unless you do click that green Add Date button. You will get an error message. After you click that Add Date button, your date and time will populate down below in the list of occurrences section. So you'll see the date, the start time, and end time. So unless you see your time down there in the list of occurrences box, you might not have clicked that add date. So again, that's definitely a key step to remember on this page. So after this, you're going to select the registration type. Okay, what registration type is this? So the options here are either sign up or express interest. Sign up is where volunteers will actually register for the opportunity, and express interest is a selection where you're just looking to generally gauge interest and generally recruit volunteers. So most likely, if you have a set time and date for this opportunity, most likely you'll have sign-up opportunities. So you'll click to the next section, and we are now onto the Where section. So in this section, you're just going to list where the opportunity is taking place. So again, generally speaking, the opportunity will probably occur at a single location. So you're going to answer yes to this first initial question of do all occurrences take place at a single location. So after you click that button, a location field is going to appear, and next to the location box, you'll see a little Create New button. Okay, you're going to click that, and a new box is going to open where you're just going to enter the location name, address, etc., and click Save, and the location information is going to populate for you. So this is important if you're having an opportunity that's maybe not at your organization. Maybe it's taking place at a park, or maybe it's taking place at a different school and you're partnering with them. So you can enter several different locations, and they're all going to be saved into your profile. So you can click that magnifying glass icon once you enter a location and search for the previously entered location information so you don't have to do it every time. So basically you can have endless locations, and then you can just select from the field, or the magnifying glass, and select from the field selections each time you enter an opportunity. So now we're on to step 4, and this is step 4 of 6, and step 5 and 6 are really just review extra information. So this is really the last step in the process. And step 4 is the Who section. So here you're going to enter the contact who is managing the opportunity and some details about the volunteers you're looking for. So similar to the location information you just entered, for the opportunity coordinator, you're going to click Create, and that's going to pop up a new box. You're just going to enter the information requested, name, first name, last name, and some contact information. Click Save, and again, the information will be saved and searchable with that magnifying glass icon for the next time. So the coordinator information will show up again after being entered. It will be populated on your screen. So hopefully it's just becoming a little bit apparent that after this initial setup, you're essentially continuing to build your profile. So this is where the efficiency of the system comes into play. When you post your next opportunity, you're simply going to click those magnifying glass icons on many of the pages, and the information is already going to be built into your profile, and it's automatically going to be populated, saving you from entering all that information every time. So again, very efficient process. So the next section is where you're going to enter some volunteer-specific information. So you're going to enter the maximum number of volunteers needed, the age and gender served by the opportunity, and the age of volunteers. So the minimum age of volunteers should probably be 18 years old, and then you can set the minimum age if the minor is with an adult as well. This section is probably driven mostly by each of your organization's requirements, so just be sure to follow your own organization's specific guidelines as to minimum ages and the age requirements with an adult that's unique to each of your organizations. So step 5 is a unique area for this. It's an optional section, but it's for custom questions. So this is where you can enter any specific information that you would like volunteers to answer when they sign up for an opportunity. Again, this is an optional step, but definitely useful in certain situations. So just as an example, say you're having that family fitness night and you're looking for a certified yoga instructor. You could add that question here simply by entering, are you a certified yoga instructor? You would go again to this Add Questions box that you see on my screen, and a box will pop up, and you'll simply type in, are you a certified yoga instructor? And select the answer type that you would like, and there are several options, so it could just be a yes or no, it could be a free text field. There's just different options that you can select there. So again, if you don't have any custom questions to enter, you can just click Next to go on to step 6. But this is a unique added option that you can customize for each opportunity that you have. So when you click to the next step, step 6, this is where you're going to review all of the information that you just entered for your opportunity. So you'll just give a quick once-over, review the information, click Submit, and you're all done. So similar to how things progressed when you registered as a partner, you will be emailed a confirmation that you've submitted an opportunity and that's currently under review. Again, this is a manual process that's going to happen in our offices. We just need to make sure that all the information is appropriate. So once your opportunity is approved, which again can take up to 2 business days, your opportunity will be live on the Get in the Action Volunteer Center, and you can begin to recruit volunteers. So once posted, you'll be able to find your opportunity in a few different areas. First, if you click on the Volunteer Opportunities tab, and that's from the main home page, remember, you will see your opportunity listed under the Find an Opportunities tab. There are some search options that you can use to filter the opportunity. You can enter a specific zip code, you can enter some keywords, or you can just look through and scroll through the list that you'll find on the main page. You can select the event, click on that, and then you can view all the details and all the sign-up information that's associated with that opportunity. So this was mentioned a little bit earlier, but when you're logged in as a partner, you can also see your opportunities in the Volunteer Management tab. So again, that middle tab that only appears once you're logged in. So from there, you'll be able to see any opportunities that are currently active and live on the site. You can see your past opportunities, and you can also see opportunities that are pending for approval. So sometimes you might post an opportunity and then realize that it's not exactly right, or there are some changes or updates that you need to make. You can easily go into the section of your account and update a volunteer description or title and modify the information. We strongly encourage you to play around with the different features of your account and the site, and just as with anything, the best way to learn something is through practice. So the more you use it, the more comfortable you're going to become with it. So we just encourage all partners to post or edit volunteer opportunities regularly, and you'll become accustomed to the site. So at this time, now that we've reviewed both the partner sign-up and an overview of how to post an opportunity, I'd just like to pause again just to see if there are any questions about either of those sections.
Yes, there are a few questions that have come in, Sarah. Just to confirm, schools can register under the partner portal. Which school representatives can register? Can multiple school representatives register, or is it one per school?
You know, I would designate one person who's kind of the lead on the volunteer site. You can go into your profile and add different people to your profile, but just for the sake of ease and one control point, I would have one person coordinating and having the main, doing the initial partner sign up. And then again, you can just go into your account after you're logged in, and there's an option to add multiple people to your account. So you can add multiple people on there that would have access to the site, but again, I would just recommend having one main lead person to register as a partner.
Great, thanks. And this is something that you discussed, but maybe you can further clarify regarding the school background checks and if Action for Healthy Kids requires that as well.
Yep, so again, I did mention this a little bit earlier. So Action for Healthy Kids is not in the business of doing all the background checks for the volunteers. Okay, that's going to be between the partner and the volunteer. So again, this is just kind of the database that's holding all of that information. So we realize that each requirement at each school or organization is very, very different. Some schools require fingerprinting, some schools require a background check, some schools might not require anything. So we realize and recognize all those different requirements from the schools, and there's really no way that we could have a handle on checking every single box. From a legal standpoint, we just can't go into that. So what you're doing on the waiver of liability when you're checking that field is just recognizing the fact that you will abide by your own organization's standards when working with volunteers. And that, again, this is just the database that's going to match your organization opportunity with a potential volunteer. So again, after those volunteers sign up, the next step is to communicate with those volunteers and then give them any requirements that are specific to your own organization.
Great, thanks. And one more question. Does the WYSIWYG editor allow for different language setting options?
Good question. Let me look into that. I'm not sure if there's a direct link, you know, to make that translation, or it would just have to be inputted in that language. I'll definitely check into that and follow up.
All right, great, thanks. That's all the questions, and just a reminder to enter your questions in the control panel. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Caroline. Okay, so now we've registered as a partner. You've posted your opportunity. So now let's just take a quick look. One of our final items is to where volunteers would register on the site. So again, it's quite a simple process. On the main homepage that you can see here, on the Volunteer Opportunities main tab, you would click Sign Up to Volunteer. So again, a new page is going to open with a very simple and straightforward sign up and registration link, and the volunteers would just enter their contact information and click Submit. Again, it's just name, email, very simple things. There is a date of birth field that will need to be entered. We do ask that information just to verify the age of each volunteer. So again, it goes back to the minimum age of the volunteers. So we just use that information to verify their age. So volunteers can immediately log in or just search for an opportunity directly from the site. And as the opportunity coordinator, you will be notified when volunteers sign up or express interest, and can access all your volunteer contacts when you're logged in as a partner. So one quick note about the volunteer and partner registrations. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but basically there are two systems working on this site at the same time. The volunteer side of things and the partner side of things. So say you want to post your organization's opportunity as a partner, and then maybe you're interested in volunteering for something that you see posted on the site as well, maybe a different school or another nonprofit organization. You can do that, but again, both a partner and volunteer systems are operating on the same site. So just as a user, you cannot be both a partner organization and a volunteer with the same email address. Okay, so the email address is how the system designates each user type. So if you'd like to have both a partner profile and a volunteer profile, you must sign up for each separately with a different email address. So if you do want to do this, the best practice that I would recommend is just to submit your partner registration with your organization email. And then if you want a volunteer profile, I would do that with your personal email, just to keep those two things separate. There is an occasion where you might have logged in the wrong area and submitted your registration. You meant to register as a partner, but instead you registered as a volunteer. We can make those modifications on the technology side of things and do that. But again, best practice, if you want to have both of those profiles, I would submit your partner registration with your organization email and a volunteer profile with your personal email. But again, that's definitely not a requirement to be both a volunteer and a partner. Again, it's just if you want to be a partner and volunteer. Okay, so as an opportunity coordinator, you will be notified when volunteers sign up and can access all of that volunteer information when you're logged in as a partner. So this can be found under the Manage Volunteers tab. And again, that's under the Volunteer Management tab that appears when you're logged in. And then it's circled right here, Manage Volunteers. Okay, you're going to see everyone who has signed up or expressed interest and can manage and communicate with each of these contacts individually or as a group. So there's no more Excel spreadsheets or paper sign-up forms that you're trying to track down and enter in. There's no more trying to sift through countless emails in your Outlook, trying to find that one individual who expressed interest weeks ago. All the information that you need about your volunteers is kept right here in the partner page for just some more streamlined and efficient communication and management. So everything is just housed all in one place. So again, the more you use the Get in the Action Volunteer Center, the more comfortable you're going to become with it. I definitely recommend signing up as a partner so you get access to all the features on the site. If you're ready to post an opportunity now, feel free to do so after you become an approved partner. Or maybe you want to start out small. You could just post a very simple opportunity, maybe just needing one volunteer, and you could work with one of your current volunteers, just hand in hand, have them register as a volunteer and sign up for that opportunity that you posted. Again, you can just put that you want one volunteer and then directly have that volunteer sign up. And that way you can just get started with the system and start to become comfortable with the features on a smaller scale just to help you practice. So there are different ways of managing that. Okay, so I know I covered a lot of information, so I definitely want to pause now to see if there's any other questions that have come in.
Yeah. So are there other ways to use the system if the school doesn't have an event to post?
Yeah, absolutely. There's several ways that you can use the system. It doesn't have to be specifically related to, a grand event that's happening at your school or organization. Again, you could just generally recruit for volunteers to the system. Again, you can use that Express Interest button. You might just say, our organization or school is looking for volunteers to get involved with our health and wellness initiatives. And then you would just tag that as an Express Interest, and you can begin recruiting volunteers that way. That's a good way to start. You can send that out in a parent newsletter and just send that direct link and just see how many responses you get. It's a great way to just start building your volunteer profile. Another way that you could use the system, maybe you're looking to, again, use it as a recruitment tool. You don't have an event, but maybe you're trying to recruit people to the wellness team or another type of committee or a planning committee, you could use it there too. So again, it might be an express interest or a sign up, but you can definitely use it as a recruitment tool that's not directly related to a specific event. So you can use it for all types of activities. Another way that you could use the system is maybe you're looking for a special skilled individual. So again, I mentioned earlier, maybe you're looking for a certified yoga instructor to help with some activities. Or maybe you're looking to do a nutrition event and you're looking for a trained chef to kind of bring new ideas and a fresh new excitement to an event that you might have in the future. So you can post different things like that. Maybe you wouldn't, again, attach a specific date and time to it, but you could say that you're looking for a specially skilled individual, and you can post that opportunity there too. And the volunteers could access that just the same as they could with an actual event with a time and a date.
Great, thanks. And one more question. So when schools are entering in their volunteer event information, can they save and come back at a later point to update the information?
The system really doesn't allow you to save mid-entry. So you can't necessarily save and come back to your work, but there are different options that you can do. So you can go ahead and go through the entire 6-step process, which again won't take long, but you do have the option once you're in your profile to manage and edit your posts. So there's also an option that you can request the post to be active or inactive, and you can just select that box. Again, that's from your profile when you're logged in, and that's going to send a message to the technology system, and we can go in and turn off that opportunity, and maybe you can go back in and edit, and then we can post it live once you're ready. So there are options to, in essence, save your work, but as you're in the process, there's no way that you can actually save that, but there are other options as the system does allow that when you're logged in. You can turn those features on and off.
Great. Thanks, Erin. That's all the questions.
Okay, great. So again, like I said, we did cover a lot of information today, but hopefully it's a little more clear just how dynamic and user-friendly the Get in the Action Volunteer Center is. Again, once you have initially registered and the more you start using the technology for your volunteer needs, the easier and more efficient the system's going to become. It's just going to take a while to get used to, but after you're in there, it's definitely going to be a useful tool for all your volunteer and recruitment needs. So I just want to wrap up here a little bit early today. You can follow Action for Healthy Kids on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Flickr, and YouTube. So definitely check those resources out to stay current with all the Action for Healthy Kids goings on. And that concludes our webinar today. So again, we'll send out a follow-up email in about 2 to 3 business days with a link to the recording and handouts. It will also include other upcoming webinars. So if you want to learn more about Action for Healthy Kids and how you can get involved with our mission and our movement, take the Every Kid Healthy Pledge to help us create a 100,000-person movement to make all schools healthier places. It just takes about 10 seconds. Once you've signed on, we'll show you ways, big and small, that you can turn your commitment into action. So thanks for your time, and have a great day.